In the last video, you learned about the 5 Spark text controls. In this video, you will continue to learn about the properties available in the controls. You will also learn more about the text layout framework, including the flow elements that can be used to format the text. Here's the Employee Portal application. In the last exercise, you added the Employee Portal text headers and these controls in the Employee of the Month panel. In this video, I will continue to improve the display for the Cafeteria Special and Monthly Events custom components. I will add text properties to the text controls, including paragraph spacing and line breaks. I will also create vertical text and detailed formatting for this calorie information section. The Flash Text Engine is a new set of classes in Flash Player 10 that supports low-level text functionality, such as rendering individual lines of text. The Text Layout Framework, or TLF, is a set of classes built on top of the Flash Text Engine. These classes are provided by the Flex framework in 2 SWIC files that are automatically referenced in your applications. The TLF provides high-level text formatting functionality, including multiple lines and paragraphs, as well as scrolling selection and editing. It also includes some HTML-like flow elements for formatting your text controls. Here is a list of the TLF flow elements. In this video, I will show you how to use the break, paragraph, and span flow elements. For my first steps, I will focus on adding and formatting text in the Cafeteria custom component display. In Flash Builder, I am opening the cafeteria.mxml custom component file and uncommenting this span block. You can see that the span flow tags declare that the font weight for the text should be normal. There are also BR flow tags to denote line breaks. I'm surrounding the text with a rich text control and saving the file. When I run the application, you can see that the content is displayed, but the text runs right up against the image. Back in Flash Builder, I am adding some properties to the rich text control. I'm assigning the text align property value to left, the height property to 222 pixels, the width property to 100%, and the padding top property to a value of 20 pixels. The padding top property is used to inset the text from the top of the rich text control by 20 pixels. When I save the file and run the application, you can see that there is now space added around the text. However, I want to add more space between the lines of text. In Flash Builder, I'm adding the line height property value to 20 pixels. When I save the file and run the application again, I see that there is now additional space between each line of content. Now within the rich text tags, I'm removing the span flow element. And then surrounding the first line of text with a span flow element, but excluding the number value. I'm also adding a colon after the span tag. Now I'm adding a font style property to the span flow element with a value of italic. Next, I will copy and paste the span tags around each content line. When I save the file and run the application, you can see that the text is now nicely formatted. However, notice that there's no text inside of the monthly events section. I'm opening the monthly events.mxml custom component file and locating the commented text, which I'm uncommenting, and surrounding with the text area control. I'm setting the color property to #0B85B7, which is a shade of blue, the height to 100%, and the width to 100%. Lastly, I'm adding the content background color set to #FCFCE0, which is a shade of yellow. When I save the file and run the application, you can see the blue text and yellow background colors. Unfortunately, the text area control is actually editable. I am setting the editable property of the text area control to false. When I save the file and run the application again, I can no longer type into that text field. Between the text area tags, notice the paragraph flow elements. To the text area control, I'm adding the paragraph space before property with a value of 4. This will add some space before the paragraph flow elements. I'm saving the file and running the application. You can see that there is a little bit extra space before each of the paragraphs. I do think that the text is too close to the edges of the container. So back in Flash Builder, I'm assigning the padding top property to 15 pixels and then doing the same for the left, bottom, and right. Padding properties. When I save the file and run the application, you can see the additional padding around the edges of the text. The last task for this video is to rotate a header that says calorie information right here so that it's vertically placed. In the Cafeteria custom component file, I'm surrounding the rich text control and all of its content with an H group container. To the H group container, I'm assigning the vertical align property value to top and the width property value to 100%. This will take up the entire available width of the panel area. Between the opening H group container tag and the opening rich text control, I'm creating a label control with a text property value of calorie information, a font weight of bold, and a rotation property of 270 degrees. The H group container will force this new label control to sit horizontally to the left of the content in the rich text control. When I save the file and run the application, you can see that the calorie text now sits to the left of this main calorie area. You can see that this calorie information text sits higher than the content. This is because of the padding top property that I had earlier assigned to the rich text control. I am removing that property and saving the file. When I run the application again, you can see that the text elements are aligned. Now I want to add the dish title below the image. Between the image control and the age group container, I'm creating a Spark label control and assigning the text property value to chicken satay and the font weight to bold. When I save the file and run the application, you can see that the words chicken satay are displayed above the calorie information. For your next step, work through the exercise titled Using Text Layout Features.